Okay, to continue with our module 3.B, special order decisions. Okay, so in this case, when we say special order decisions, this actually focus on whether a specially priced order should be accepted or rejected. This is the same as what we have mentioned in the first example or illustration in the relevant costs discussion. So special order decisions are examples of tactical decision making with a short-term focus. So increasing or this decision will increase short-term profits. This is the limited objective represented by this type of decision making. So of course, care should be taken so that accepting of the special order will not jeopardize the normal distribution channels or adversely affect other strategic elements of the production process. So we have here to illustrate the special order decision, we will use the Polar Incorporated. So they are an ice cream company. So they operate at 80%, meaning to say they are not operating at full capacity. They have excess 20% capacity. So of its productive capacity, there are 10 million 1-quart units. An ice cream distributor from a different geographical region has offered to buy 2 million units of premium ice cream. So this is at 1.75 per unit, provided its own label can be attached to the product. So the normal selling price is $2.5 per unit. Okay, so we have here the data, okay, for the production. This is their existing production capacity at 80%. Okay, because there are 10 million 1-quart units, but they are only operating at 80%. So that's 8 million units. So these are our data for production, their existing production. We have the variable costs, the non-unit level costs, and the total and per unit costs. Okay. So the special order will not require commissions or distribution. Here, the buyer will only pick or will pick up the order at the factory or from the company's factory. So the order will require 10,000 purchase orders, 20,000 receiving orders, and 13 setups. In addition to one-time cost for the special orders label template will also require $24,500. So these are the additional costs. So the requirement is, number 1, we will list the alternative being considered. Number 2, we will list the relevant benefits and costs for each alternative. Number 3, which alternative is more cost effective and by how much? Number 4, what if accepting the special order upset a regular customer who was considering expanding into the new geographical region and decided then to take their regular annual order of 2 million units of the premium ice cream to another company. So what alternative would be better? Okay. So, for the solution, what are the alternatives that is present or available for the company? So of course, we have two alternatives, that is either to accept the special order or to reject the special order. Okay, number 2, what are the relevant benefits and costs of accepting the special order? So of course, this will include revenues, direct materials, direct labor, packaging, other variable costs, purchasing, receiving, setting up, and the cost of the label templates. These are all relevant costs, which are future costs and that differ from one alternative over the other. So no fixed cost, again, please take note. No fixed cost will be affected. If the order is rejected, the net benefit for the company is zero. Okay, because they will still continue at their present or existing capacity at 80%. Okay. For number 3 requirement is what alternative is more cost effective and by how much? Okay, so we will use this analysis. If the company will accept the special order, so they will have a differential amount in sales for 3,500. Okay, next, we will consider the direct materials, direct labor, packaging, other variable costs. So the net benefit for the company, if they will accept the order, is $271,500. If they will reject it, zero. No benefit, no cost. So therefore, based on the illustration in the analysis, it is best for the company if they will accept the special order because it can increase their operating income by $271,500. So again, their decision should be it is best for them to accept the special order. Okay, for number 4, in this case, the regular order at 2.5 per unit would be better than the special order because the special order only offers 1.75 per unit, and the company would be better off if they will reject the special offer because the regular order will will give them greater amounts of profit at 2.5 per unit. So even though the special order avoids the commission and distribution charges, those total only 2.05 per unit, and the company would be better off making the additional $0.75 in price with the regular customer. So not to mention also avoiding of 24,500 for the special label template. So in this case, number 4, it is better for them to reject the special offer if the regular offer for a 2 million quart, okay, at 2.5. So if you could notice, the decisions will actually change depending on the cost and revenues that are relevant in the alternatives. Okay, so that's for special order. So we go now to the last part. This is the decisions to sell or process further. So in this case, joint products. Okay, I don't know if you are familiar with joint products. So when we say joint products, these products have common processes and costs of production up to a split off point. So at that point, they become distinguishable. Often, joint products are sold at split off point. So an example of joint product is in the case of a sugar cane. So if you're going to process it, they have they will have two types of products. So for the first processing will I guess create or produce molasses, which is not a refined sugar, but they can also at this point the product after that processing, which is molasses, can already be sold. However, if they will continue to process it further, they can refine it and make it white and fine sugar, which are or which cost more than that of the molasses. Okay, so this is an example of decision to sell or process further the joint products. So, but sometimes it is more profitable to process a joint product further as mentioned. So, beyond the split of point prior to selling it. Okay, to understand better. Okay, so to determine whether to sell or process further, this is an important decision that the manager must make. So the key point in this decision, of course, is that all of the joint production costs are relevant to sell or process further decision. So by the time the split of point is reached, all joint costs are sunk and therefore irrelevant. Meaning to say, at the time that the production is jointly produced, okay, at that point, all the costs are, after, again, uh, all of the joint production costs are irrelevant to the sell or process further, because in this case, we are considering the split of point and not the joint production. Therefore, the joint production costs are considered to be sunk, meaning to say we have already incurred these expenses and we cannot recover them, and they do not have future benefits. The future benefits will be provided if we will for process further, okay, the product. That's why in this case, the joint production costs are considered to be irrelevant, okay, for this type of decision. So to understand better, let us have this illustration or example. So we have here Del Rio Company. So they grow and sell fresh and canned food products. So the San Juan farm grows and harvests tomatoes. Each plot yields 1,500 pounds of tomatoes. So they referred to it as load of 1,500 pounds. 1,000 pounds are grade A tomatoes and 500 are grade B. The cost of growing and harvesting the tomatoes is $200 per load. So Del Rio can sell the 1,000 pounds of grade A tomatoes in a load to grocers at $0.4 per pound. Alternatively, the tomatoes could be processed into hot sauce. Okay, so this is if they will process it further, they will convert it into hot sauce. So each bottle of hot sauce will sell for $1.5 and requires 1 pound of tomatoes. So the cost of additional processing average $1 per bottle. This amount includes the remaining ingredients, bottles, labor, and needed processing activities. Okay, so based on the given data, we have the following requirements. So number 1, we will list the alternatives being considered. Number 2, what are the relevant benefits and costs for each alternative? Number 3, which alternative is more cost effective and by how much? Number 4, what if the best of grade A tomatoes, premium A's, could be sold to grocers for $0.8 per pound? Of the 1,000 pound of grade A tomatoes in a load, about 30% are premium A. The grocers, however, will not buy premium A unless they are also sold the regular grade A tomatoes. So they will deal with another supplier instead. So it will cost an additional $50, however, per load to separate premium A's from the regular grade A. Which alternative would be better for the company? So we will see. Okay. For number 1 requirement. Okay, of course, the alternatives being faced by the company is either to sell the grade A tomatoes at split off as it is, or split off and process them further to make them hot sauce. Okay. Number 2, the relevant benefits and cost of selling at split off versus processing the tomatoes further. So of course, again, it will include revenues from the sale to grocers and the revenue from selling the hot sauce, and of course the additional cost from processing further, okay, the product. So the $200 per load cost of growing and harvesting the tomatoes now is considered to be sunk cost, and it should not be considered in the analysis. Only the revenue from selling the hot sauce and revenue from selling the to the grocers and the additional cost of processing further the tomatoes. Those are the only cost and benefit that are relevant in this decision-making analysis. Okay, for number 3, so which alternative is best and by how much? So here, if you could see, if we will sell the tomatoes at split off as it is, at tomatoes as it is to the grocers, our sales or benefit will be $400. In this case, we have no other cost. So the relevant uh, thing that we can consider here is its revenue of $400 and no additional processing cost. However, if the company will decide to process this further into hot sauce, then the company will have a net benefit of $500, even though they will incur additional $1,000 for processing it further. So therefore, if this is the case, then it is better for the company to process further the grade A tomatoes into hot sauce because it will increase their profit by $500. Okay, so that's the analysis. So it is better for the company to process the tomatoes into hot sauce so that the company will increase its profit. How about in number 4? So in this case, if uh, 300 of the grade A tomatoes are premium A's, and they will be sold for $80 per $80 per, and the remaining 700 pounds are sold for $40. So this will be our analysis for the total revenue at split off. Okay. Or at split off, the total revenue will be 520. Okay, all you have to do is to multiply 300 by 0.80 and 700 by $0.40 and add them up. That's 520 at split point. However, if they will process it further to hot sauce, okay, at split of point, we have $520 in sales as computed earlier, and we have processing of $50. Okay, because in this case, if you can notice, it will cost an additional $50 per load to separate the premium A from the regular A. Okay, that's why we have here the further processing cost of $50. So the net benefit is $470 if we will sell them at split off point as it is as tomatoes being grade A and premium A's. However, if the company will process it further into hot sauce, okay, the same in number 3 analysis. So the net benefit is $500. So in this case, again, it is better still for the company to process further because it will have a differential amount to process further of $30. So if you could notice here, processing further the tomato into hot sauce will again give us net benefit or increase in profit by $500, which is larger than that of selling them at split off point. So again, the $200 per load to grow the harvest of tomatoes is still considered to be irrelevant. Okay, so that ends our module 3.B or module 3. So this is our reference for the contents of this discussion.